Good day, beautiful souls, and welcome to Southern Tea with a Twist podcast. I am your host, the Doula, your self-care awareness influencer tour guide. So today we are doing another Mommy and Me edition recording, but it's a little bit different because we have somebody here that's going to give us some expert advice, some understanding, some self-care of pregnancy throughout their duration. So we have Miss Shavonna here. I met her through one of my mommy's recording. She had a doula. And when she said, when she told me she had a whole birthing plan and what her method was, I was like, wow, this is so new to me. I have 3 children and a conversation like this never took place. So I'm just super excited to be sitting here with her. I cannot wait to hear all of the information that she's going to share. So welcome to Southern Tea with the Twins.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for it. So let's introduce ourselves to the viewers. Like I said, I'm new to a whole doula conversation. So how did you get into this?
Well, it started a long time ago, and I didn't know I was a doula.
Okay.
I was just doing the doula work.
Okay.
I supported friends and my family members who were pregnant, and I just had a fascination with pregnancy. I thought it was the most beautiful thing, still think it is, and just being pregnant and how miraculous it is. So my attention was always to the mom. So I would be there before pregnancy, making sure you're okay, talking to you, making sure you're okay with this baby.
Right.
And when it came to delivery time, I was always there. I think I'm in labor. I was always there. I was always in the hospitals. I was always coming back to make sure you had something to eat. So this was innately inside of me from the beginning.
Wow.
So it started, in the late 80s when my friends and colleagues were having babies. And so it was just so natural. Fast forward 2000, I want to say about 17. It could have been a little bit earlier. I heard the word doula, but it had a negative connotation to it, right? So I'm like, well, I don't want to be a doula because I don't want to be a slave, right? Coming from slavery, doula and slavery don't match. But I sat and I thought about that thing. I said, I'm already not a slave, but a servant. I do this for free. This is just something I do. So I was like, no, let me investigate. So I started researching what's a doula, what a doula really does. That's what I've always been. So here comes the training. So you don't have to be certified to be a doula.
Really?
Don't need any certification, but you're more respected in the hospitals and different organizations if you have certification.
Gotcha.
So when doing that, I started training. I started looking at other trainers. Basically, I wanted to go back to what my foremothers did, my ancestors, right? So I started seeking out those who were doing it more natural and who were doing the taking care of our mothers the way our mothers did, because we've lost that.
Definitely.
We've lost that. You didn't even know that there were options.
Definitely.
Right? The conversation was never there. So we lost that somehow.
Definitely. That's beautiful. So the history of a doula stems back with slavery.
Basically. Or even prior to that. Because this is something we always done. Let's go back to the word used in the Bible was midwife. Okay. So we know Shepher and Puah were the midwives, and they were delivering all these babies. But there were also other women doing the same thing. Those were the only 2 just notated in the Bible because they had a special calling, a special task to do to save our babies from Pharaoh. He wanted to kill all of our male, right? So therefore, we've been doing it all along. We've just, different names are coming up. Birth workers.
That's
okay.
new.
So we other doulas don't, well, other birth workers do not want to be called a doula.
Because of the negative.
Yes. So therefore, we're using different terminologies now.
Okay.
But it all stems back. You're a servant to these mothers, because even though doulas now are compensated, there isn't a price on what a doula does for a mom. Okay, when it's a life or death situation and a doula speaks up and advocates for a mother, there's no price tag.
Yeah,
there's no price tag. Saving your life because a doctor is not coming in, or a nurse is coming in and making sure mother is okay, she's not bleeding out. Those things a doula look out for. Okay, we are the second set of eyes for the families,
especially for new moms who's never experienced this, don't know what the birthing process looks like, supposed to be like. Right. And if you don't know, they can tell you anything. You just like, okay. And if you're on medications, you just emotional, you just, okay, I just want this out of me, and there's nobody there to advocate and say, hey, she needs this, she needs more time in the hospital. Now they're pushing moms out so soon. Yes. Somebody can speak and say, hey, I don't think she's ready. She may need a few extra days. She may need someone to watch over her. So that's extremely important. Getting back to African Americans and our birthing challenges that we face. I think it's becoming more commonly known now. There's conversations about it with the mortality rate with African American babies and Black women. So do you see what are the benefits of having, well, we kind of just did talk about one of the benefits of just having somebody to advocate for you, but where do you see doulas playing a role in the African American community? Because again, that's not conversations we have. We're not even aware of it. Right. Until you meet somebody else that say, but I had a birthing plan, and like, wow, like.
Okay. So for doulas, so important for us to educate the mom and then educate the family. Okay, so that's one of our main things that we do. We want you informed about the procedures that they're doing in the hospitals, the verbiage, and what to expect from a provider. That you can fire your provider at 36 weeks because they're telling you need a C-section. And there's no medical reason for a C-section. Okay? So these are things that we don't know. Because we think that the providers know it all and have our best interests. But they don't, based on we're 3 to 4 times more likely to die. If they had our best interests, why are we dying at such an alarming rate?
That is a good question. If they have our best interests, why?
Right. So we are educating. We're preparing you for the birth. We're educating you on nutrition. It is important to eat healthy and drink your water and exercise as well. Okay? And then have everyone on your birthing team on the same page. So when you go into the hospital and they're telling you we have to induce the baby, or we have to give you Pitocin, or we have to give you an epidural, then you're going to say, wait a minute, where are we in this birthing process? Is it too early, or is it too late, or is it just right? When you have a doula, they're going to educate you on the amount of centimeters you need to be in, right? How effaced you need to be. See, those are terminologies we don't.
I'm looking like, look like, what? I had 3.
Yes. So they don't tell you this. They just tell you it's time to push. Wait a minute. Is it really time to push? Or is my cervix going to get so tired that it just freezes and don't want to do any more work?
Right.
So we definitely have to educate our moms. The education is key. Knowledge is power. Definitely. And it is. Even in birthing. Birthing should be just a normal occasion, but we make it such an emergency to where we have to go to the hospitals, and therefore when you're in a hospital, it's textbook, and every woman that goes through the birthing process at a hospital is a cookie cutter process. So it doesn't matter that you're Black or white or Hispanic, Native American. It doesn't matter. you're going to go through the same process of getting hooked up to an IV because they're prepping you for that C-section. Oh, but they're going to also have you laying down in the bed. Go ahead and put this on. You're laying down in the bed, not moving. Where you think baby's going to go? Sit there and relax with you, you know? So just all these little things that we need to know about. We need to know that we need a birthing plan.
Definitely.
So we can know whether or not, okay, before we go into the hospital, are we going to get any shots? Are we going to get any ointment? Are we going to have, what is it called, an epidural? We need to have these discussions prior to going to the hospital with our physician in a calmer environment.
Right, and not in the middle of the chaos.
Exactly, when you're forcing me to sign papers that I have not even been able to review.
Wow. So everything that we're discussing, this whole platform, is centered around self-care. And I just absolutely feel like birth period is a self-care moment. Like, you're transitioning to this whole new phase of life. Like, it's different when it's just me and I'm trying to figure me out, but now I have this new being that's new to the world. We're basically learning each other and still incorporating self-care. And from one of the moms that I spoke with that you're working with, you know, she's like, yeah, she's coming over here to make sure that I'm still eating healthy, that I'm healing properly. And it's like, wow, like, that is so important, especially for mothers that have had C-sections. Like, you have to heal. Right. And again, if this is your first time experiencing this, you don't have nobody to advocate for you, you have nobody to inform you, you don't even know if you're healing correctly. So to have you to come in daily, weekly, however that looks like, just to make sure that this mom is not only taking care of her baby, but she's taking care of herself.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
It is so important for our moms to realize that we're just as important as that new baby. Okay? If I'm not taking care of myself, how in the world can I take care of this new baby? Okay? You have to have those conversations. Put pride aside. If you need help, please come over for an hour. Someone, please help me with the baby. Please help me prepare some food. Please help me wash some clothes. Please help me do something. Go to the grocery store for me. Put that pride aside. You are not a superwoman. We're here to help you. That's number one. That
is definitely number one, because I feel like when you said that we're not a superwoman, I felt that, because I feel like as a woman, especially as a black woman, like, we kind of program ourselves that I am a superwoman. I can still deliver this baby and then come home and cook dinner and clean my house.
No. We don't have to be that woman. I tend to think about things that we did biblically, okay? Because there were always servants around. Who were they helping? They were helping those mothers who gave birth, okay? We didn't have to do it all. We didn't have to do all the cooking. It takes 180 days for the cervix to actually heal. Remember, not the cervix, I'm sorry. The uterus, I'm sorry. Remember, there was a placenta was there. It detached. It left a hole. Just imagine that. The uterus is getting smaller, but that area has to heal. So if you're getting up, running around, when is your body able to heal? Right?
Yeah.
So there are things that mothers can do prior to giving birth. You want to be in this relaxed, happy mode. Stress brings on stress. We harbor everything down in our reproductive system. So if we're stressed and we're tired, we're tensing up down there. Therefore, baby is tense. When we get ready to deliver, it's going to be a tense situation. Okay? So the more relaxed, the more calm you are, the more you're getting out. Whatever comes out, negatively, okay, good, it comes out negatively. If you're thinking negatively, you need to replace it with something positive.
Right.
So I tell my moms, if you're having a negative situation today, you need to start thinking about something happy, journaling, watching something funny to bring back those happy hormones, which is oxytocin, which is natural. Okay, we need to have that in our system constantly. Another way of self-care is going out, doing something that you like to do.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be expensive. You can go to the park and look at the, or by a lake, look at the animals around, that area. Just something visual you can do. Talking to some friends about positive things. Journaling is one of the biggest things. I think it's so important because you get up every day choosing what day to have. And if you're journaling that, you're writing it, you're thinking it, you produce it.
That's true.
Correct? Go out with your friends. Go out to a spa every now and then. Take care of you. Get your nails done, your hair done. Some self-care.
Yeah.
Do a facial. These are just things that you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Every week, every month. But just do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, I preach that self-care is intentional. And it's literally intending to do something nice for myself. And I know with being pregnant, like, you already feel like you're not your best self. Your body is constantly going through changes. Your physique is changing. Depending on, with boys or girls, your skin change. It's like so many different things. And so remembering, like, this is okay. And one of the moms that I spoke with, like, she was an athlete. She kept an athletic body.
Yes.
And as her body was changing, like, she was like, I was having a mental hardship with this because I wasn't used to it. She was like, I had to tell myself, like, it's okay. Like, this is for the baby. So, and she had a team. And I think that's important because everyone that I talked to, they've been able to develop or build a village. And I think that's extremely important. So when you're talking about your birthing plan or having this team in your circle during your pregnancy, what does that look like? Who are those team members that educate and inform, and what does that look like?
Your birthing team can be anyone that has your best interests at heart, who loves you and is going to be responsible for you when baby is born or throughout your pregnancy, baby's born. It has to be it can be your mother. It can be your best friend, your friend, someone you just met can all of a sudden take interest in you and, provide you with that support that you need. Your partner, your husband, your aunt. Some of us, we have that aunt who was always there, to support, to guide, to encourage, to nurture. So these are the people that you want on your birthing team, not those individuals that are going to go against you, or saying little things.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Feel bad 'cause I'm looking too because I've been hopped up through the camera. I've been seeing everything. I think it's gone.
Okay. All right.
But we was just talking about that team.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I understand. But the team is the people that have your best interests. Rather it's your spouse, your partner, aunts, healthcare providers, whatever that looks like. But it's important to have that because we can't do it do it alone. And if we don't have to, then we shouldn't. Because it's so much. It's so much. And I remember being that first time mom and going, like, having the baby. And it's funny because after I had my son, I was literally in the hospital room, like moving the furniture around in the room so I could eat some crab legs. And when I was on the phone, it was like, what you doing? I was like, I'm moving the furniture because I was trying to get comfortable. If you don't sit your butt down, I'm like, I'm fine. But again, in my mind, it's okay. I just push pushed out a whole baby. I can do this. Right. And it's like, no, you have to heal. And research shows that it takes about 2 years for your body to fully heal itself. So is that a 2 year of a natural birth where you're pushing, or is that 2 years that includes a C-section? Because I know that healing process takes a lot longer than the natural birth canal delivery.
That is the minimum. Just think, that is the minimum. Technically, we don't stop healing from birth. And I want to put it into this perspective. If you had a traumatic situation, that can go on forever and ever.
That is true.
Okay? So there is your support team. If you're having a problem with an experience that you had during birth, you need to then go talk to someone. Talk through that, because it will affect the subsequent births.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like, thank God none of my pregnancies were complicated. But my last one, I don't like to use the word complicated because I've known people that had a complicated pregnancy. So I don't feel like it was complicated, but I felt like it was a lot more stress than my other pregnancies. And so that's what really kind of scares me about possibly or even thinking about having another one, because like just walking was difficult for me. Like I felt like I was about to pass out, and I've never felt that way. And then like his brain the dilating of his brain or something like that. Like nobody could give me no answers to tell me like exactly what that mean, other than like his dilations was larger than what they probably should have been, but they wouldn't tell me was that a good thing, a bad thing, what to do, but we need to go get an MRI and it was just like, it was so much at the end. And then when you're dealing with insurance, it was just, oh my God, I can't. So I was like, I definitely don't want to do that no more, because it's like, that scared me. And to put myself in that situation again, and you know, every pregnancy is different. Right. And for mothers that have had multiple, they can probably,
So I have a question for you. Were their findings legit, or was it a scare tactic?
I don't think it was a scare tactic. I will say it was legit because, you know, they did measure. I'm trying to think of the terminology that was used, but they was like, they said it's more common in boys. And you know, the measurements they found, they were a little abnormal, and that was fine. But I, as a mom and somebody that's in the healthcare field, like, what is the long-term effects of this? And there was nothing. So as I'm watching my son develop now, like, not saying he's not as developed as his older siblings, but where he is at 4, my other 2 was there at 2. So I'm like, does that have something to do with it? Or is this just how he's naturally developing? So it's like those type of things that happen throughout your pregnancy. Somebody that's concerned like me, that's always observing and looking, like, I'm like, okay, does that have something to do with it? Or am I overthinking it? I'm an overthinker. So, you know, so I have to try to keep myself calm and stay out of my head. Right. But that was important for me. So I'm like, I don't want to stress about that anymore. But I know that everyone that is not fortunate enough to be in a situation like that, where they have a team, or, you know, they have somebody to relieve them of that, and they kind of just go through it. And as you said, like, when we have traumatic experiences and we don't release it, we don't talk about it, it will hinder us further and further down the line. And I think most of the time we don't even realize it. Because when I went through therapy 2 years ago, I always knew that I needed therapy, but I couldn't pinpoint what those things were. And now that I've been through therapy, I can pinpoint those things, and I can identify what my triggers are and when I need to release. So that's like extremely important. So to bring it back full circle with self-care, like self-care is important. And I think once you transition and becoming a new mom, it becomes even that more important, because we lose ourselves. And how this for me came about, because I lost myself right when the pandemic happened. And I didn't have a new kid. I was just transitioning in life, what I wanted to do. And I'm sitting here in the thick of the pandemic. I'm like, wow, like if I'm going through this, I had the help of therapy to help me get me through that. But if I'm going through this, my kid, I got three kids. They're not babies.
Yes.
It's women out here pregnant that's delivering through this. How are they coping? If I lost myself,
yes,
what are they doing? What support system do they have? Who's letting them know, like, yes, you just had this baby, but you matter. Like, Shavonna, she's still a person, even though you just had this baby. Like, I'm still somebody.
Right.
Not to lose myself. So I was like, it has to be something more.
Right. So everyone was affected during the pandemic. Pregnant, non-pregnant, rich and poor, everyone was affected. So mothers during that time needed extra support, needed extra interactions, right? With either a provider or their doulas or their mothers, whomever. It was very important. Going out and getting fresh air, taking off that mask, and just doing the things that, you know, that were restrictive, because you couldn't even go in to get a haircut or get your hair done anymore, right?
And for some people, that's like a major component in self-care.
Yes. So then you recruit some of your sisters. Come, please help me do my hair. I need to look decent right about now. So there again, we go out and we ask for help. It's okay.
Yeah, asking for help is extremely important. You know, I'm getting to a place that I can admit that I can ask for help, and I think it's just a accountability thing within ourselves, acknowledging that we've gotten to that point. And you know, for some of us, for me, it took therapy. For some people, it may just have just a heartfelt conversation coming from somebody that they love. You know, we all respond to things differently depending on who it comes from. But I just want us all to be open and acknowledge that sometimes we don't always have it figured out. We don't always have it together. And it's okay to say, I need some help today. You know, like, can you come watch the baby for an hour just so I can get my mental together? Or I can go sit down and take a bath, or go on a walk, or I got this really awesome book that I really want to read. Like, just something to take you away from the stressors of being a mommy, because we have to escape.
We do.
The mommy title is not going anywhere. You'll always be a mommy, so it's okay to take a break. And I know in the beginning it's so hard, because like one of the moms said, you get mommy guilt, and I remember that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I loved getting my nails done, right? Had that first baby, all of that. I didn't polish no nails. I got these things called
cuticles
growing out of everywhere. I'm just like, no. But that first baby, I really didn't. I really didn't, because I thought it was selfish. And she needed my attention all the time, really. So I went through that with the first one. Second one, third, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all to go out and do something for me. Eating by myself at a restaurant. Get away. You know, because as soon as you put that spoon in your mouth, everybody starts crying and needing you, you know. So it's good to get away.
It's definitely good to get away. My youngest two, 7, 8, and 4, I can't even still go to the bathroom by myself because mommy this and really? Can I get a little privacy? So it's okay to get away, you know. I'm trying to find time for myself. One of me and my friends who was talking, I was like, you know, early in the morning is probably the best time. But I'm so stubborn with getting out of bed that I was like, no, I get it later. And then by the time we go through everything throughout the day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it in at night.
Tired.
I be tired. So for me, I'm just trying to find just a little extra me time. But if I don't get it, I'm okay, because I've have so many other positive things that's going on that I can not having that extra me time. I'm okay with it, because like one of my biggest things was having a social life. Like I've never really been like have a whole, I don't want to say a whole group of friends, but just having like people outside of family to hang out with, to mingle with, to have those tough conversations. Like I'm getting to that place now, and so that's very fulfilling to me. And so just being social, knowing that my kids are taken care of, they're at a certain age in life that they can do certain things by themselves, and I just oversee and manage and make sure things are good. So that's where I am. That's what self-care looks like for me. Y'all excuse us, because it's a waltz beat right here.
I'm hoping we are not interfering with this nest, because you know that's what they do.
Yeah, I don't see any
Look at that right there, because it's not a wasp. They have cut. Do you see it?
Yeah. It looks like it might. Well, I don't know. It looked dried out, but who knows? Yes. So as we get ready to wrap this show up, individuals that want to contact you per se, or just be in network with doulas, come up with a birthing plan, just somebody that's not thinking about having kids right now, but a lot of us millennials, we like to prepare for the future. So how can they reach out to you per se, or any other doulas, to just have a conversation about what pregnancy or birthing plan really looks like for them?
Yes. First, I want to say that it is very important for a mother, or women in general, to start planning on how to take care of yourself and make your body ready for birth or pregnancy.
Okay.
Because one of the things you don't want to do is get into pregnancy and you have high blood pressure. You haven't taken care of that. Your eating is not under control. You're still wanting to do bring stressors in your life. You need to start thinking about how you're going to cleanse your body from head to toe.
That is so important.
Prior to getting pregnant. Self-care. Okay? Before you get pregnant. And if you are interested in becoming a doula, you can definitely give me a call. We're here in Jacksonville, and we support the surrounding cities, but we virtually internationally. Because what I do, how I encourage, how I teach, can be taught through Zoom or even a phone call. Did one of those recently.
Okay.
Help mother give birth on the phone, texting back and forth to her husband, and he was able to relay the message. He did awesome. Can't wait to see that family. They're adjusting and say, give me a couple of weeks. So they're adjusting. So we do this virtually as well.
Awesome.
So if you're interested in becoming a doula, or if you need a doula, please contact me. I'm at 904-252-0661. And you can email us at doulasdivineservicesinfo@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. So I kind of want to just to kind of go back. So you said before you even thinking about becoming pregnant, preparing your body. Before we wrap up, can you give us an example or a sample? Because we talked about that before we actually started recording. Like how can you prepare your body pre-pregnancy?
Right. Holistically. Okay. I'm going to start with mentally. I try to go through really fast. but mentally get your mind set and ready for what it means to be pregnant, what it means to be a mom. Are you even ready mentally for this? Because it's going to be another human that you're going to take care of, right? And also being mentally prepared to know that you're going to have to eat a certain way, you're going to have to walk a certain way and talk a certain way, because it has to be all positive. This process is all positive. Even the changes in your body, you're going to have voluptuous breasts. They're going to increase. They're going to be tender. Say thank you. You know, just appreciate that. Appreciate that body expanding, and stretch marks are like birthmarks. Not every woman has a birthmark.
That's true.
So we got to be, you know, appreciative of those things that are happening with our bodies. Also, so the physical part of it is basically eating right, knowing what fruits and vegetables are good for you. So therefore, you got to know your blood type and do some research. What is good for me? Detox your body before you get pregnant. Don't get pregnant and start having being nauseous all throughout your pregnancy, because your body is trying to detox. You know, so start drinking some green juice, some, you know, fruits. Just discover different fruits. It's not just apples and bananas. You know, you got blueberries that help with your
got dragon fruit, star fruit. It's a lot of different. I'm gonna say weird because they're not in our palette of fruits that we typically go to, but it's a lot of different fruits and vegetables out there that we should definitely be incorporating as a form of self-care, trying something new.
Yes, it's beautiful, and your skin and everything looks so much better. You know, when you start detoxing at first, you know, you'll have a lot of different bumps and itches and all of that, but you got to get that out and consider that before getting pregnant.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely wish that I would have had someone like you or known something of you throughout either one of my pregnancies. I feel like it just would have gave me a different experience. And that's what I want everyone to take away. Like, we're in a time where things that we're unaware of, the resources, the opportunities that are out there, we're clueless about because we're not having conversations about pre-pregnancy. I don't know how many people actually plan a pregnancy. Most people that usually get pregnant are kind of like, well, we was doing what we probably shouldn't have been doing. We didn't protect ourselves. So just having a plan, understanding what your body is about to go through, understanding that there are resources, there are midwives, there are doulas, there's professionals that's available for us, and that we don't have to go through this alone. And most importantly, that we have to take care of ourselves before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and after pregnancy. So it's a full circle self-care. So it doesn't just start after you have the baby. From what Miss Shavonna said, it starts before then.
Exactly.
So thank you again. Do you have any last words, any encouragement, any advice, resources, anything that you would like to put out that you haven't already shared with the viewers?
Just know that there are a lot of resources for pregnant women now. We just got to do our research and really look out for what's available for us, wherever you are in life. And to know that being pregnant it's a blessing. And also, you know, just know that every woman is given an opportunity to give birth. Our birth is on our terms. Your birth, your experience. If you actually think about what your birth experience looks like, it can manifest into that. Just know that.
Awesome. I love it. Manifest your birth plan. I love it. Never thought about it. again, this is Southern Tea with a Twist. This is a exclusive recording with Miss Shavonna. I absolutely enjoyed our conversation. I felt like, again, it was very informative. I learned something new, and I hope that you all are able to take something away. Until next time, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. What does self-care look like for you? Be sure to email me at southernteapodcast@gmail.com. You can also comment under this video or any other videos or recordings. Until next time, beautiful souls, we will see you next time. Okay.